what is HTML? HTML stands for the Hypertext Markup language. It's a standard language for creating every websites and the pages everywhere on internet. So let's go and dive in here how the basic structure of HTML looks like. HTML consists of tags everywhere. So we use these brackets to showcase that each of the tag, it's called tag. In doc type tag, we specify and say this is HTML document. Next one, the core, which like beneficial for every HTML, it starts with the HTML tag. So you're opening brackets and closing, and you write HTML, and you always have a pair of the tags. On the beginning you have HTML, and if you scroll all the way down to the document, you will see a closing tag. So this is like opening tag, and this is a closing tag. A closing tag also always come with a / sign. So let's go to the next one. So usually the most important part of every HTML document is HTML tag, the head, and the body. Basically more than enough for every HTML page to render. On the right you actually can see the result. Head consists of the metadata and also for the title. And title goes my first page. And if you go to the page, you can see the my first page is over here. So whatever we title, let's say my not first page, and save it, and there you go. So this is the title, and then the head ends up over here. The body is what represents what will be the body of the page over here. As you can see, inside the body we use H1. H1 stands for the header, so it could be H2. We have a welcome to HTML. This is basically whatever it is inside, so like text right now, and we have welcome to HTML here. If we change that text, we save it, and it saves right away. If we change the type of the header from header 2 to header, from header 1 to header 2, you can see as the header became way more smaller. Another example would be that basically you don't have to have any structure to write the text. As you can see, the next text I just wrote as it is, today is a great day, and we have that line over here. Ideally you want to put it like in some specific value, like paragraph, and you want to put it outside, and you want to keep it as paragraph. Now you can see automatically the styling applied and it moved it down away. That's how you can structure the text. If I remove that paragraph again, the space is removed. So that's how like default styling is applied in HTML. Right now we have only HTML, only the text and nothing more. The BR tag stands for, basically it just adds another line over here. Let me comment it out. By the way, if I comment out in HTML, I would just like put another tag behind it. This is like commenting tag. And if I save it, you can see on the right, it's just like removed it right away. If we remove it, place it back, we got that space. So BR is just like for the extra space. Next we have welcome to Devon Wine text. It's over here. It's very similar to this one. It's just like not in paragraph or anywhere. We can use tag div, which is very popular, and it stands for a block. It's basically any block, could be text or whatever. Yeah, you can't see much difference right now, but basically this is how it looks. The blocks are good when you want to build something more complex in HTML. And then you have a closing tag of the body and closing tag of HTML. And this is in a nutshell is the whole HTML, and this is more than enough just to make a very basic static page. And of course you can insert here like images. Let me give you an example of the tag of the image, how it looks. Image tag starts as image, then you add attribute source, which is like a source of the image, equal, and then a path to the image. Right now we don't have the image, but that's basically how it will look like. It will just render underneath. You have alt text. Alt text is the image, like in our example, didn't load up. We could at least give it a text-based information. Let's say a photo of a nice looking cat, and that will give an explanation what this image stands for. Especially it's good for the accessibility readers. And there's a lot of the tags inside the HTML which could be useful. I'll probably give you one more example with a link. The source is attribute of image tag. It's just like terminology, but basically attribute stands for the parameter for this tag. And there'll be another one example. By the way, you can see like our image and link right now stands very close. If we wrap that link, which I just recently added inside div, it goes just automatically into the next line because it's different set of the block. And as I mentioned, div, it's a block. And inside we have a tag, which is anchor, which is basically links. And we want to use href attribute, which is basically a value parameter where we want to send that user. And this is the text which will be behind this link, or you could say up front. And if we click that, there you go, we went to the website. So as you can see, we went through basic stuff of the HTML, the structure, which stands for the tags, HTML tags, which is HTML head and body. This is like the most important HTML tags. And frankly speaking, if you do something like this, let me remove everything and say let me place still and HTML page and save it, it still works. The problem is with that, like the server which will be absorbing this file will not understand the structure, semantic value of structure, and you cannot use the parameters as we did for the title. Right now the title is nothing and there's not much information. Is it like HTML page? But by default it tries to consider it since it's HTML file. We have this index.html in the name, therefore it understands it as an HTML. But let's return our HTML page back over here. We went through the tags, HTML head and the body set. This is the most important ones. We have things like specific tags for specific items on the page. Usually for the headers we use H tags, which is like H1 from H1 until I think H6, P for the paragraph, div for the blocks, image for the image. We have things like attributes, which is basically a parameter for your image. Right now for the image we have source attribute, alt attribute, and like href attribute for the anchor tag. So this is a very basic understanding of the HTML. If you want to explore more, you probably want to experiment more and look out for the sources like MDN, which I recommend, stands for the Mozilla Developer Network. Let's go for the MDN over here. Yep, that's MDN. If you want to explore more, just go there and look for more. If you feel this video was useful for you, consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel. Bye.